I'm Sandy, and welcome to Life with Sandy. Well, good morning, and let me tell you, it is early. It is about 9 o'clock, which is very early for me to be out, up, dressed, and showered, all of that. I didn't go for a walk because it is very hot. It is 8 o'clock in the morning, and it is 82 degrees, and the humidity is at 100%. It is so sticky. But we have the air conditioning on in the house, and I don't like air conditioning, so I'm sitting outside here. I'm going to be reading. We don't have any birthdays today or anniversaries that anybody's told me about. So, anyway, like I said, I'm reading. I finished this book, Survive the Night. Another book I would recommend. It was really good. The other one I read, Riley Sager, was Lock Every Door. And then I read this one, Survive the Night. It's very good. It's about, I told you, it was about this couple that they're at college, and they are going to do a ride share, and she kind of thinks she's with a serial killer in the car, and it has a lot of twists and turns and keeps you guessing. It really does keep you guessing. I somewhat figured out the end. Usually I'm pretty good about figuring out the end, but it had enough twists and turns that I kind of doubted myself sometimes, so I would recommend the book. I am now reading the Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. In 1977, Clear Lake, Oregon was shaken by the Lady Killer murders. Two men, seemingly at random, were murdered with the same gun with strange notes left behind. Beth Greer was the perfect suspect. Oregon, in 2017, Shay Collins is a receptionist, but by night she's a true crime website, the Book of Cold Cases, a passion fueled by the attempted abduction she escaped as a child. And then she goes and interviews the lady killer. So, that's really, I'm really enjoying the book. I just started it yesterday between all my nodding off. I'm about 116 pages in. There's about 300 pages in the book. Oh, I feel so much better today. I know I'm still a little swollen, but I feel 100% better than I did. On Monday, when I got up, my tooth was kind of bothering me a little bit. Not so much the tooth. The tooth never bothered me. It was the gum. The gum area was always bothering me. And Denise had come by in the afternoon, and I was saying, I think tomorrow I'm going to have to call and make a dentist appointment because my tooth is just really starting to bother me. I think I'm going to get an infection. And like I said, when I woke up yesterday morning, my left eye was swollen shut. I couldn't open it. I had this big puffy patch underneath my eye that I just kept massaging until it burst or whatever. And then it just didn't feel right. So I called the dentist. I love my dentist. I told you my stories of my dentists in the past, which were awful. They were awful. I had one dentist repair a tooth, and I bit into a piece of bread, and my tooth broke in half. That'll give you a clue to how bad he was. But he probably accepted my mother's insurance, so that's why we went. But I really trust this dentist, and we've been babying this tooth for over a year. At least a year, if not longer. We've been babying the tooth, and it's been. I had a crack in it that I had this special little tool that when I flossed, I had to floss in between because food would get impacted under the tooth into the gum, and so every night when I flossed, it's like a floss stick. It looks like a really thin matchstick that you put it up between the crack in the tooth, and then it sounds worse than it was. It didn't hurt. But, to clean out any food that might have got trapped up in there. But, and like I said, I was babying it because it's the only molar I had left on this top, because the other dentist had pulled the molar over there. And so we were really babying it. And when I went for my cleaning, when was that? I think it was in April. He told me then, he said, Sandy, I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to hold on to this tooth, but we're going to try our best. And I said, okay, that sounds like a plan. And And then when I woke up yesterday with that, I kind of resigned myself to the fact that I was going to get it pulled. Only because this is only June and it's the third infection I've had in that tooth. Um, I've taken antibiotics in the past for it, and it did clear it up. But then I always think that that's poisons that's going through your system. And they always say that people that have heart problems and heart disease and things, it started with bad teeth. That the infection gets into your bloodstream and it automatically goes to your heart. So I was thinking of that too. And so I was kind of resigned to the fact that there probably was going to get pulled. But I was open to anything because like I said, I didn't want to lose the tooth. And then when I got there, I did get there early, and she just kind of looked at me, and I said, I realize I'm like almost an hour early. I understand that, and I don't expect him to take me now. But if he gets done with somebody sooner rather than wait for me, I'll be here. And she said, well, that was really nice of you. And I go, I'm just going to read. I would have been reading at home. It doesn't make a difference. But they did take me at my appointed time. No big deal. And they did x-rays, and then he comes in with the x-rays, and he says, well, you want to know the good news or the bad news? And I go, well, the good news is I'm not going to have to fight any more infections, but the bad news is you're going to pull the tooth. And he says, boy, you can read my mind. And then he showed me the x-ray, and he said, it's even beyond a root canal because there's no roots. Because it was just, the bone was eaten away even. So I said, okay. He says, well, I'm still going to give you some Novocaine. He says, is it loose? And I go, no, it's not really loose. And I says, it's just, kind of puffy from the infection. And so then he held onto the tooth and he was moving it around. He said, Sandy, that's a loose tooth. I go, yeah, I guess that's loose. So he did give me some Novocaine, which is just, I'm glad he did, because even though it was pretty loose when he went to pull it out, I still had probably about maybe 3 or 4 seconds, which doesn't seem like a long time, but when you're in pain, 3 or 4 seconds seems like 3 or 4 minutes while he was pulling it out. And then since it was so abscessed, he had there's a name for that sucker thing, that sucks everything, all the fluid, the saliva out of your mouth. He said, well, now when I move the tooth this way, grab all that infection and suck it up so it doesn't go into her bloodstream. So I could hear it. Such a nice sound. And then he pulled, the tooth came right out with no problems. It just popped right out. And he says, oh my goodness, that popped right out. And I go, well, yeah. So then he packed me in gauze, and he said, all the, the normal things they tell you to do. So I came home. Jim wasn't home at that point, and I had to keep changing the gauze because I was kind of bleeding a lot. He didn't give me an antibiotic because he said they got all the infection out, because he could see when he cleaned up the area. He said there wasn't any infection in there, and he said that unless I was feeling sick today, to give him a call back and he'd give me some antibiotics. But I feel pretty good today. I actually am feeling pretty good. But so I got home about 11:30. I was just kind of out of it. I didn't want to doze off with the gauze in my mouth, because knowing my luck, I'd swallow the gauze, because that's just who I am. That's just my luck I have. So once it stopped bleeding, I took a little cat nap in the chair for about half an hour. And then it was about 3:30. Yeah, about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I thought, I'm getting kind of hungry. I think I'm going to need to make something to eat. So I thought I'll make some pancakes, because that seemed like soft enough that I could eat. And then by then Jim had got home. And so I was so dizzy. I had to make the batter, then sit down. And then put the batter in the pan and then sit down. And then flip the pancakes and then sit down. It's just the stress. I haven't felt like that since I fainted a couple years ago on Good Friday when I didn't eat. That's the exact same feeling I had. So I sat down and I ate the pancakes, and I had a glass of orange juice with it. And then I felt a little bit better. And then I took a nap for an hour and a half. And I was just kind of out of it all day. Oh, here comes Jim. Yes?
Can you give me a hand here for a minute?
I'll be right back. Well, I had to help Jim MacGyver our canopy cover that goes over the top of the canopy. There's like a little cap that Jim doesn't seem to think is the right thing, so he had to MacGyver it so it won't blow away. So, anyway, so I had the pancakes, and then I took a nap for an hour and a half, and then I started watching YouTube videos. And between 6 and 11 o'clock, I think I nodded off for a total of like 3 or 4 hours. I just would turn something on and then I'd wake up and it would be over. So I'd rewind it and start it again. And then I went to bed at 11 o'clock for the night, and I slept sound through the whole night. I didn't wake up until 8:30 this morning. So that was like 9.5 hours solid sleep. So whatever, I think my body fought off whatever infection was in there. But today I start my physical therapy. I go today at 2 o'clock. I'm going to start that and see how that goes. And my mouth is still a little tender, so I'm going to try to eat a little bit softer foods that don't require a lot of chewing. I should be back to normal eating by tomorrow. But, I'll be able to eat my berries because they're soft. My banana because it's soft. But I got to count the points, so I'm going to do that. And then Sophia leaves tomorrow, or tonight actually. She's going camping with her Aunt Amy, so she called me yesterday and wanted her bathing suit that she left here and her favorite floaty. So Denise was bringing Mary to the doctor's this morning, and Aaron works like a block or two from Mary's house, and so we're just going to leave all the stuff there, and when Aaron gets off of work he's going to just go over to Mary's house and pick it up, and then he's going to bring Sophia to her thing. We're going to do Oliver's birthday next week. He picked hot dogs, so I'm going to plan on something else. I think I might make a roast. I don't know. I'll make hot dogs for Oliver, but all he eats is hot dogs and French fries. So that's easy enough just to make for the kids hot dogs and French fries, and then just make a nice meal for the adults. How's that sound? But he picked a carrot cake, so once again I won't be tempted. I like carrots. I like cake. I don't like carrot cake. Just no. So that'll keep me on track. But I think Jim wants to put the canopy on because we have a fan that we put up here. I'll show it to you if he does put it up. So you sit outside here and you have it like, I don't like ceiling fans, but out here when it's really hot and muggy, I prefer the ceiling fan outside than going inside in the house with the air conditioning. Although with the air conditioning on last night, I have to say I did sleep pretty well because it did get hot and muggy last night during the night. But the heat really, other than the fact that I don't get to walk unless I get up earlier, I would have walked today, but just the fact that I was so dizzy yesterday, I was a little, and I thought, well, I'll get some exercise in when I do my therapy. So I'll walk tomorrow. Because it's only supposed to be a one-day heat wave, they say. We'll see. And I guess that's about it for now. I will start reading my book until Jim gets out here and needs some help. So talk to you soon. Maybe it'll be, you'll see my breakfast before I go for my therapy. How's that sound? But it's still kind of early. Too early for breakfast. I know. For me, not for normal people. But whoever said I was normal? Okay, for breakfast I'm going to have a veggie, scrambled omelet, whatever, with 2 slices of toast and some banana and tea and my orange juice. Today is Wednesday, June 15th. My quote is, a healthy outside starts from the inside. It is a 9-point breakfast, 0 for my butter, because it's the spray butter that I'm using. 5 squirts of 0 points on my plan. My veggies, my eggs, my tea, and the salsa that I'm using are all 0 points. A slice of American cheese is 2 points. 2 pieces of my Aunt Millie's toast is 2 points. My banana is 3, and my 8 ounces of orange juice and 8 ounces of diet cranberry juice is 2. So it is a 9-point breakfast. Well, hopefully the air conditioning is not making too much noise, but I have to have it on. It is hot. It is 2:30 and it's 95 degrees. It's very hot. I'm just getting back from my therapy, my physical therapy. I really liked the guy I got. I got some guy named Travis. Did a lot of different little exercises with me. We went over the things that I want to learn how to do now that I'm all grown up. So we did an evaluation of where I am right now, and then he said in a month we'll do another evaluation to see how far I've come. And so we'll see how that goes. But he's going to work on helping me he said my gait is off, which I thought it was too, because we did a little bit of walking stuff. And then I showed him that I have no balance. So he's going to work on that. And just, like they did a general questionnaire to see how I was, what I want to work on and what I don't. Some of the questions are kind of funny. It asked me how far, if I have any difficulty running. I said, look at this body. This body doesn't run. He just kind of chuckled. I said, but I do walk every morning. So he says, well, that's good. But then he's pointed out, which I know myself, is I kind of sometimes drag my left foot. I don't know why, but I do. I think he's going to try to have me do some stuff without shoes on, just to see if it's my shoes that might be causing me to walk differently. But we didn't do that today. We're going to do that tomorrow. And so I set up my appointments with him. So I'm only going tomorrow because Friday didn't work out for either one of us. Because usually I'm just going to go some weeks I'm going to go on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and some weeks I'm going to go on Mondays and Wednesdays. It just kind of worked out. I want to stick with the same person because then they can see my progress and know what they did the time before. And since I didn't really have a really thorough physical therapy today, it's not going to be too much to have it again tomorrow. So tomorrow they'll get more into doing the stuff. I think I have to figure out a way not to, I'm going to leave my phone in the car, I think, because my phone kept falling out of my pocket. I don't need my phone when I'm in there. And then just bringing my driver's license and my insurance cards from now on. Just not bother with my wallet because that was kind of cumbersome too in my pocket. I know if I had a purse it would be so much better, but I don't carry a purse. But like I said, I'm feeling very confident that I think that this is going to help me. I really do. And if anything, it'll just give me a little bit more confidence in myself. I explained that I have a problem going up and down stairs, balancing on one foot, and then a little bit of my walking too. So we'll work on that. But look how close this therapy place is. I am now home. So that makes it even better. So here we go. Got to water my flowers. I'm going to be out here long enough to water my flowers and maybe squirt myself to cool off a little bit. It was nice and cool in there at least. So that worked out well. Line up here. And we are home. 3 minutes and 30 seconds later. And look at our cactus has decided to bloom today. It's because it's so hot. Isn't that pretty? Okay, for dinner I'm going to have a salad, and there is some cottage cheese in there with some peaches. It is a 15-point dinner, 0 for my salad and my iced tea, 1 point for an ounce of turkey, 4 points for an ounce of provolone, 3 points for half a cup of cottage cheese, 2 points for my peach, and 5 points for my 2 tablespoons of dressing. So I ended the day with 24 points. Well, my AT&T is not working again. Does that surprise you? The unfortunate thing is that the only other options that we have around here are Comcast, which is Infinity, which is just as bad. And I think we could get WOW, but we don't like. So I called AT&T, and now I have a 45-minute wait before they get me on the line. So they're going to call me back in 45 minutes. It's just this one TV box, which I ordered a box about a month ago, and it still never has come. And every time I call, they say it should be coming, because I know it's just the box, because the other TVs work perfectly fine. It's just the main TV in the main room that's not working, so it's aggravating. I went to in the pool with Denise. I didn't get her on camera. We're not bathing suit beauties, so we're not. Although I'm in my robe. Look at that. I'm ready for the night because I got out of the pool and I'm thinking I don't got to get dressed. I'm just gonna put my pajamas on, be comfortable. So we went in the pool. We were in there for probably about 45 minutes or so. It was so relaxing. It was so nice. I love my pool. I go in it as much as I can. But I meant to tell you that when I was doing my assessment at the therapy today, I thought it was kind of funny. Is the guy's name that's my therapist is Travis, and he was doing all these tests and things, and at the one point he had me stand on one foot, which I can't do. I can't stand on one foot. So you get the little stopwatch out, and I go, oh, you're not going to need that. And he says, well, no, we want to see how many seconds you're going to. I says, you won't even have time to turn that thing on. He just kind of laughed. He says, well, you might surprise yourself. And I go, no, I'm not going to. I know where I'm at.
So he says, well, let's try. So we got the stopwatch ready, and I can't, 2 seconds, maybe 3 is all I can stand on one leg. That's all I can do. And so he went and he got one of those gait belts to put on me to hold me up. So he said, hold on to the table and try again. And I kept like grabbing onto the table because and I said, it's not that I don't trust you, because when I had my knees replaced, I had those gait belts put on me, and I feel fully confident that you're not going to let me fall. I said, but it's just instinct that I keep grabbing at the table. And he says, no, I completely understand. So then, he did a few more tests and that, and then I sat down and we were doing an assessment. And he said, well, what would you like to accomplish at the end of the 10 week, or the 10, because I have 10 sessions I'm going to go to. He said, what would you like to have accomplished by the end of the 10 sessions? I said, well, the first thing was I'd like to be able to go up and down stairs with a little bit more confidence that I have. And he says, oh, okay. And he says, well, what else? I says, and I'd like to be able to walk on uneven surfaces, like on lawns and stuff like that, and feel a little bit more secure. And he says, okay. And then he says, what were the last thing? I said, I'd like to be able to get up from the floor, because I can do it now, but not as quickly as I'd like. I'd like to be able to, in case I ever do fall, I have the confidence of knowing I can get up from the floor. And so then he says, well, why don't we work on going up and down the stairs first? I said, that sounds good to me. So then we get all done, and he says, well, is there anything else you'd like to know? And I said, no, I guess that's it. And he says, well, is there anything that you want to ask me before we have our session tomorrow? Because I'm going again tomorrow. And I said, yeah, I was just wondering, do I got to wear this gait belt until tomorrow? He just kind of says, oh my gosh, I forgot to take that off of you. I said, well, I didn't know if it was part of the look I'm supposed to wear home to let everybody know I'm in therapy. So he just kind of chuckled. He said, we're going to get along. I said, I think so too. But, so anyway, this just aggravates me. Now the TV just turned off. I know the TV turns off at a certain point anyhow. Oh, well. But that's going to do it for tonight. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, leave a comment, hit the like button, share if you think somebody might like to see it. As always, stay safe, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.